I'm Mariefiebach of feedyourfamilytonight.com, and today I'm going to teach you how to make my favorite Italian meatballs. One thing that makes these meatballs unique is that they are dairy-free. So oftentimes meatballs have Parmesan cheese or milk in them, which is really good. But if you have someone in your family that's trying not to eat dairy, these are a great alternative. They start with a half a cup of panko breadcrumbs, and I've already got that in my bowl here. And to that, you're going to add 6 tablespoons of water. You want to mix the water and the breadcrumbs ahead of time so that the breadcrumbs can start to hydrate. They're going to provide the structure for this meatball. I'm also adding 1 egg. I'm going to quickly mix this together and let the breadcrumbs kind of start to absorb some of that liquid. If you let this sit for just a minute or two, the breadcrumbs are going to totally absorb all of that liquid and are going to kind of swell and get a little bit larger. The next thing we're going to add is the spices. I put in a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of onion powder, 1 full teaspoon of Italian seasoning, a teaspoon of coarse sea salt, and then a pinch of hot red pepper flakes. I'm going to mix that in to the breadcrumbs, and then I'm going to add 1 pound of ground beef. Now I have tried this with 85% ground beef, and I have tried it with the ultra lean 93% ground beef. Both work really well here, so whatever ground beef you happen to have or purchase at the store will work. And then you're just going to mix this up to get all of that seasonings and breadcrumbs integrated in with the ground beef. Right now I'm doing it with a fork, but a potato masher is a great tool that is not used enough in the kitchen for things other than mashed potatoes. I use my potato masher to do things like make guacamole or when I make my homemade turkey sausage, and it works really well here to mix up these meatballs. Once you've got all of those breadcrumbs incorporated and you have the meatballs mixed, you're going to put them on a baking sheet. And I like to use my number 20 scoop, which is 1 2/3 of a tablespoon. And I just scoop it out and put it straight on my baking sheet. This makes right at 20 meatballs. You are going to put it into a preheated oven that has heated to 400 degrees, and you're going to bake it for 20 minutes. They're going to get brown and crispy on the bottom and brown on top, and you can use these meatballs in just about anything. One of my favorite ways to use the meatball is in meatball subs, and I'm going to bring you that recipe next week. The recipe for these meatballs are at feedyourfamilytonight.com, and if you ever have any questions, you can always join me in the Feed Your Family Tonight Facebook group.